else had any problem. What the fuck? It was bad acting, bad execution, bad pre-planning, bad. I'm dying for somebody to disagree with me because I want somebody to bring up one positive thing that television program did for their fucking business. Otherwise than hasten it to an early demise so they don't waste any more money.
What's your take on Ric Flair debuting last night?
Great! He got out of a limousine and shook all the fucking flunkies' hands like Beer Money, the best tag team in the business right now, maybe. And there's Eric Young, he's shaking the hands of the stars that get out of the limousine. And then he watches part of the match with AJ Styles. I'm challenging the viewers or the listeners of Who's Slamming Who to come up with one good thing about the TNA Impact program that helped their business and mail it into me. And if it really is good, I'll agree with you. Maybe I'd turn to vomit after one of the worst segments and fail to see it. But I didn't see anything that would help their business in any way, shape, or form except Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff and all of their friends out there stroking their massive egos and blowing a collective load all over the viewers' fucking faces. I felt raped. And then I had to watch Raw to get the bad taste out of my mouth. And holy shit, I didn't know Raw had gotten that bad.
Before we get
Tommy, you're going to give me a stroke here today.
Before we get to Raw, you forgot to mention about the strip game between the beautiful...
Oh, yeah, the strip poker. No, they're not going to get naked. We know it's basic cable. Quit fucking jerking our chains. You're jerking us off literally. They're not going to get naked. But at least if Russo had total control over the show, we would have gone back to 8 more fucking vignettes of them doing absolutely nothing. So at least that was, moderately successful because we only had 3 or 4 of them doing absolutely nothing.
I thought it was actually a pretty cool swerve having Val Venus debut in that segment. I thought he fit in good in that segment, the debut him on there.
He fit in wonderful in that segment. And in 1999 on Raw, I'm sure that would have been a big hit. It's 2010, folks. 1997 is screaming for its wrestling back and its wrestlers.
Let's move over to Monday Night Raw.
Let's go over to Raw for a second.
What was your reaction of, first of all, the Bret Hart-Shawn Michaels confrontation at the beginning of the show?
Well, let me say, for the sake of it, I want to admit, WWE Raw looked professional. They've got an amazing production. They shoot it very well. The shit takes place exactly as they want it to. There's never any usual, screw-ups like you get with TNA or minor league or whatever. Having said that, it's a bunch of old gray-haired guys screaming at each other about shit that took place 15 years ago. Shawn Michaels is 45. He's not a boy toy. Fucking Helmsley is 40. Brett's 50-something. Vince is 60-something. Can we put a little bit more spotlight on some of their younger talent? Of course, once again, the bad acting was even more on display there because they have writers that know bigger words. So therefore, the guys have more trouble pronouncing them. But Brett and Shawn, fine. It went on a while, but okay, fine. Brett and Vince was a little bit better because, Vince is a little bit better than Shawn. But once again, if this is going somewhere, I just don't get it. We will look back in 5 years, we will look back on the night that January 4th, 2010, as the time where the wrestling fans finally said, you know what? Fuck this shit. Let's find something else to do. These guys are as old as my grandfather.
Something else I want to get your take on real quick is with that Brett and Shawn vignette.
It reminded me of when the Sheik and Bobo Brazil were doing the county fair circuit in Michigan in the early 90s because they just couldn't give up.
I was going to say to you, at the beginning of the show, it did Brett and Shawn. I thought it was actually really, really good. And then it was serious. Both guys, meant what we were saying, blah, blah, blah. But then they come back 3 segments later, and they have the same guy that was in that opening heartfelt segment now playing a teenager running around with a little midget backstage playing games.
Well, yeah, that's, we've got midgets running around, and just this, it looked like the writers of Saturday Night Live said, we're going to do a wrestling parody. Maybe this is what Raw looks like now, because I haven't watched it in so long. But this Miz character thinks he's apparently fucking Laurence Olivier. Maybe I've just dated myself with that reference. Meryl Streep. I don't know if I'm getting any closer. He's not a thespian. Let's put it that way. Maybe some of the divas are thespians, but he's not a thespian.
Well, since you got a chance to watch the show last night for the first time in God knows how long, what was your take on some of the other talent that they had on the show last night? Like, say, the new champion that they're pushing, Sheamus.
My jury's out on him, because I can see where he's, his work wasn't bad. He's got an interesting look. He doesn't really strike me as, the next coming of Stone Cold Steve Austin, but we shall see. I understand he works out with Triple H, and that's pretty much all you need. I think they have a bunch of rotten, crummy, young punk backstage interviewers that are corny and staged and contrived, but that seemed to be the flavor of the night. I'm just, maybe I haven't watched enough current wrestling because I'm not used to so much bad acting.
Yeah.
But it left me with the feeling of, my God, Dana White is a genius. He's taken our business away. He's taken our business away from us, and this is what we counter-program with. But meanwhile, Roderick Strong and Davey Richards tore the house down. There was nothing silly. There was nothing stupid. There was plenty of stuff that was low budget, because that's what professional wrestling is. It's excitement on a low budget. But Ring of Honor was the hour of pro wrestling on Monday night, January 4th, 2010. And the oldest person involved with the show was the guy talking to you. And I didn't see myself out there for 10 minutes talking about how great all of the buddies were that I was going to bring into the company, or hashing over old grudges from 10 and 15 years ago. I do that on Who's Slamming Who.
Yeah. Were you surprised not to see Vince Russo on the show last night?
Was I surprised not to? On what, on Impact?
Yeah.
No, well, I wouldn't thought I would have seen him. I haven't seen him when he's got sole control, so now that he's got a guy that's coming in and bitch slapping him, I wouldn't think we'd see him. Everybody said, maybe Hogan will fire Vince Russo the first night. It wouldn't. Actually, when I saw the rest of the stupid stuff they did, I'm surprised he didn't, but that's so inside, and once again, all they want to do is be inside and hash over stuff that they're still got their panties in a wad about, instead of trying to build something for the future to help the talent that's being underpaid on their rosters, and build something to combat the forces of mixed martial arts and UFC. Explain to me what on Impact last night will mean a flying fuck in 3 years, actually in 3 months.
Well, I guess we'll find out next week.
See, I stumped you. You can't come up with nothing. It's indefensible. I don't know what the creative team got for that TNA Impact, but it should have been 3 to 5 years. I felt dirty. I needed to take a shower. I think wrestling fans should engage in some kind of class action lawsuit against these people for taking our sport away. And I'm dying for somebody to argue the point with me, because if you can come up with anything on that show to defend as far as making a change and a statement about a new and cutting-edge promotion that's going to take over the world, then please illustrate to me what the fuck it was. Otherwise, everybody involved in that TNA Impact show last night, speaking for the entire group of wrestling fans across the country, can suck my fucking dick. Fuck you. I hate you. You suck. That's what I thought about the fucking show. Fuck you, Dixie. You have laid a turd in the collective wrestling punch bowl. This is a fucking experiment that didn't even make it to the first quarter hour before the fans, the people who watched the program, were chanting bullshit over something that was obviously going to happen when they called it. Bullshit.
I was going to say real quick,
This any stronger, Tommy.
I know you're in a rampage, But obviously next week's Impact rating is far more important than last night's, only for the fact that they're unopposed next week. And after they debuted all these big names last night, what do you think they can fare as far as the rating goes next Thursday, realistically?
My prediction after seeing that show last night is that by next week, people will have figured out a way to hack into their Nielsen boxes and take away the shows they watched last week, much less give them a rating for next week. That's my prediction. They'll do a -3/4.
Well, that will do it for...
I'm dying for somebody to argue this one with me, because I'll go frame by frame on that motherfucker. They fucking blew it. TNA, you fucking blew it. You fucking assholes. I fucking hate you for what you have done to our business. I got out at the right time, and God bless America for that, because I would have gone off with a fucking sawed-off shotgun last night, and there would have been a massacre, and you'd be seeing the fucking videotape on MSNBC right now. Fuck! Fuck!
This will definitely go down as probably the most entertaining edition of Cornette's commentary.
Well, I'm glad you're entertained, because I'm about to have a stroke. It was insulting. It hurt my feelings.
Well, that's not right to hurt your feelings.